Hey guys, welcome to Homies and Houses. Today we're going to have a little catch up session about where we're at with our properties and what's next. And then I think we have one more question to answer from our Instagram question requests. So, Alana, do you want to get started? What's new with you? And I feel like we have a lot to catch up on.
We do, because we've both been so busy.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot new. I decided on a brokerage for because I got my real estate license. So I decided on a brokerage to go with. It's a local brokerage where I've known one of the realtors there for like 10 years. I was actually in a networking group with her the last 10 years. And so she's like my team lead, and which is just really cool. My boyfriend is using his first time home buyer loan to buy my dream house. Well, it's his dream house too, not just mine. But I was looking at it since the day it went on the market, like just in love with it, and then just kept looking at it all month. And then last weekend, I saw that it dropped 25,000 in price. And I'm like, okay, I've been staring at this for a month, so we should go look at it because he was told that he had to use his first time home buyer loan like this year or he'd make too much money. So it's like his one shot to get a house at 3% down. And so he didn't just like want to use it willy-nilly, but like if there's a if a house makes sense. So yeah, everything went good with that. Put an offer in, contingent on inspection. He wanted to be cautious with all of that, which I think is good especially for a home you're living in, for a long time. And a few things came back that weren't even like bad, but like, there was no gutters on the back of the house, some ceiling and stuff like that. And so he asked for all of that in order to go through with the purchase, and they said yes. And so they're fixing that stuff, which is probably going to be a couple $1,000s, which is really nice. So then I have my house that we live in right now, and I'm kind of deciding still what to do with that. I originally bought it and ended up Airbnbing it out. And then about a year and a half ago, when my sister turned 18, she moved in here, or I just told her a couple months prior, we can move into my Airbnb. So you have a place to go when you turn 18. And so we lived here ever since. And so basically right now, her and my boyfriend rent from me. And so it's kind of like, uh, I haven't really not lived under my own roof very much for the last 5 years. And so that's going to be different. But I'm mostly like, I'm thinking I'm going to sell this one because I would just rather I don't know, it's hard. I bought it with immediate equity. So I bought it at 185 and it appraised at 215. And
Nice.
so that was great at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, sweet, I bought it off market for 185.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the location. I love the house. Like I'm in love with this house too. But I always knew it probably wasn't like long term because it's kind of a weird layout. Like my office I'm in right now, you have to walk through my office to get upstairs to get to my sister's room. And so it's just kind of like not super functional forever. Um, but I think if I rented it, my interest rate on this is like 7%. And so my mortgage is like kind of high. And so right now I don't really pay my mortgage because they pay it, but I do pay utilities and internet and garbage and all that stuff. But I my mortgage is like 1650 or 1670 now. It keeps going up with property taxes. And so I think I could only rent it realistically like for 2000. And so I'm like, what, make like 350 on it a month, which isn't really, I mean, some people would say that's good cash flow, but I like multifamilies where I make like 1,000 a month or more, like 12, like 1,500 a month. And so to me, that 350 is just kind of like, maybe I would rather sell it, get like $40,000 for it, and either put that into a multifamily that'll make me more money, or honestly, probably this year, just like save it so that I have reserves.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. There's so much. The flip is going good. We hope to have it on the market by June 15th. I hope. I originally said June 1st, but that's just not going to happen. We had to have a pre-inspection and all this stuff to get work done. It all went super good. This weekend we got so much done where I'm like, okay, I honestly think we can maybe have this listed by June 15th, um, which
So
is great
what are you
because I can list it.
what have you been working on it? Like what have you been doing to it recently?
Yeah, so what took a while, the biggest project was the bathroom was really tiny. And so there was like this wasted space, which I don't know what the old renters used it as. It could have been like an office, but I don't, it couldn't really have been a functional bedroom. Um, and so we just took that wall out, but we had to have a pre-inspection to make sure we could. Like we knew we could, but the plumber was probably gonna like turn us in if we didn't like actually get a pre-inspection. I'm like, I don't even know if we need one. Anyway, the inspector was super cool. So he came in and because we wanted to move the laundry from the basement up to the main floor, so it's going to go in the corner of the bathroom. The bathroom's going to be like huge, so it'll be nice. So of course we need a pre-inspection for plumbing, like I know that. So he comes in for that, and then the plumber's like, also she wants to take this wall out, and the inspector's like, okay, sounds good. He was there like less than a minute.
Wow.
I'm like, sweet, because I just have bad experiences with inspectors
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes for
Um,
that one that keeps coming back from the city.
Yes. So I was scared I was gonna get him
Oh, okay.
because there's only two of them,
Yeah.
and then it's like your luck of the draw. And so I got the other one that I hadn't met yet.
Yeah.
And so he was really cool. Not saying the original one would have been cool with this. I was just very nervous because whatever. But yeah, so he was like, yeah, that's fine. And then the plumber goes, I told him I could have punched him in the face. He goes, wait, doesn't she need an extra building permit for that? And he goes, no, I'll just put it in with your plumbing permit. That's fine. I'm like, sweet. I got very like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
But so we got that wall out, and so that's all opened up. This weekend, like, got the tub out, everything. So we're gonna get a bigger tub and like move it over. It's kind of hard. I wish I had like pictures
Yeah.
or whatever that I could knew how to put up here, but yeah, all of that is going really good. Sean got a lot of the flooring done yesterday, and we were gonna do that together, but it's kind of like crowded with two of us, and so I went upstairs and I was ripping out nasty carpet and like trim and getting that all cleaned up and yeah. So yeah, we just got so much done this weekend. And then lastly, the bathroom remodel across the street at my business center is finally taking place. For those of you who don't know, that's what I'm referring to about the other inspector is that he came in and he's making me make a bathroom 2 feet wider so it's handicap accessible, but the building is not handicap accessible. And so it's going to be about $10,000 for this new bathroom. But it is being done after they threatened to take away my certificate of occupancy if I didn't, basically. And so they're doing it. And it'll be a nice bathroom and it'll add some value. And so I'm trying to stay positive about it. It just hurts the pocketbook, right? A pocketbook. I've never said that in my life. It just hurts the pocketbook right now.
Textbook, maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, what's to do with you?
I have tenants, so my house is fully um, rented out, which is nice. Now that that's rented out, I am looking into the next move. So kind of deciding whether I want to just use savings for another house or take a home equity line. So gonna be working a lot the next few months to try and figure out what I want to do with that. Because the goal is to buy another one before the end of the year. So we'll see.
How much equity do you think you have in the house that you could liquefy?
Well, the house is worth 400, like 415, I think now, like the most recent estimate. And um, I, I get like these monthly emails about like um, the value of my home and how much like my updated equity based on how much I have paid off and how much the value of my home goes up, and the most recent was the most recent email said that it was 115. So I think that's probably on the slightly higher side, but still, like anywhere between like 100 and 115 is probably where I'm at right now. So
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
There was, for some reason, I thought about taking out a HELOC on one of my properties, and I think they're getting really tightened up about it. I don't really know why. Because I've had that one for 5 years. I should have quite a bit of equity in it now. And I tried, and they were like, I don't know. I didn't try that hard, but one of my lenders was like, yeah, it's not possible right now to pull a HELOC on that one. And I didn't really dive into it because I had another way to get the money, but I should.
Well,
But
you could do a HELOC or you can do cash out refinance. So there's
yeah,
options.
yeah.
And I have like, and also the value of the house is just based like they haven't done like there hasn't been like a more recent appraisal, and I redid the floors and put in a bunch of new appliances and things too. So that should help with the cash out refinance if I wanted to do that. Um, but yeah, so then deciding whether I want to buy one in Northwest Arkansas, keep it there, or if I want to expand, change strategy a little bit. Yeah, I think I will probably stay in Northwest Arkansas just because that's where I have my like crew of people. I have friends there. I have the property manager. I have contractors and things like that. So, um,
hmm
but I don't know if I
Do you want, do you know if you want to do a rental or if you want to do a flip to maybe get a lot of capital for then another rental, or like what are you thinking?
I would love to do a flip. I just don't know if that's super realistic. We kind of talked about maybe doing a flip next year together, which could be super fun. But yeah, maybe this year I'll just get another rental, and then next year we'll look at doing a flip, and then that'll be my next year. Yeah, have you ever heard of Misogi?
Mm-mm.
It's like I'm totally gonna butcher this, but basically like it's a Japanese concept where you like have one thing every year that challenges you, and it's like kind of like a scary thing, but it's to help you get out of your comfort, but it like represents the whole year. And so like next year the Misogi for me could be like doing a flip. This year it's
hmm
an athletic thing, but next year it could be a flip. But yeah, so yeah, um, I would love to do a flip. I just don't know if that's in the pages for this year,
Yeah.
given my
And it's so dependent on the right one, obviously.
yeah,
It's kind of hard to like find
yeah,
right now to find a good one.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I sent my friend last night. She's like looking for, she wanted me to like help her look for a flipper rental, but she's in Missouri,
okay,
Hillsboro. I think it might be, I don't remember. I think it's kind of a suburb of like St. Louis.
okay,
But so when she visited me in Wisconsin like 2 months ago or maybe, I was like on Zillow and like, because I don't have any off-market connections there, but I'm on Zillow. And there was one where I'm like, oh, this is like too expensive, but it looks like it would be a really good flip or rental.
yeah,
It definitely needs love. Houses there are worth a lot, but like this one is not. And so they had it listed at 140, and like the condition it's in, it's not like foundation issues or anything like that. It's just like
yeah,
it's just like ugly.
yeah,
Um, and so I had been like, this is too expensive right now, but whatever. I forgot about it. But because I had like sent it to her at one point, Zillow told me last night it dropped 15,000.
well,
So now it's 125. And so I'm like, now that's not so bad.
yeah,
And so I sent it to her again, especially probably still as a rental, or maybe like a low ball at like even like 110. They probably really want to get rid of it. It's been on for 200 days.
wow,
And so that does make me wonder if you go in person, if there's bigger issues,
yeah.
or whatever. But I was up at like 1 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. And so I sent it to her.
The other thing is,
But yeah.
and tell me your thoughts on this, but there's a so I like my duplex is in like an area of duplexes. And the guy who I bought the duplex from, he owned all the duplexes in the area, and they're trying to like liquidate all their, not all their assets, but the like those ones. And so there's still a bunch of them that are on the market. I think that they're kind of like they're trying to get more for them than what they're worth. And he reached out to me a few months ago, but I really was not in a place to buy another one at that point. Being like, hey, like we can work something out so there's no like realtors involved, and so we don't have to pay realtor fees in it or any of that. And if I could get him to do a portion of it seller financing, I think I could probably do that too. I just, given that it was kind of hard to get mine rented out, and it's in a similar area, so if there's a tornado, that could be challenging, and things like that. But like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. Especially if, like you said, he'll do some seller financing.
Yeah,
It just depends if he wants, and actually, maybe you know more about this part. So my question is like, if he does seller financing, then you're basically just paying him monthly or whatever, instead of him getting a big chunk of money.
yeah,
And so that could really help his tax burden too. It could
yeah,
be, I think. I'm not an accountant. I do not claim to know that like how that much how that would work, but
yeah,
I think that that would probably be helpful.
yeah,
I have had a similar situation, but he wants too much for them. But d basically, my road, where I bought this house, this guy owns like 14 other rentals, and so when I bought this house, everyone on the block assumed that he had bought it, but he hadn't. And then I met him at the gym by chance, and so he has, well, no, he has 30, but he has 14 like on this road. And so then he asked me if I wanted to like bid on them basically or like whatever, talk about it. And so I met him for coffee like a month ago, and he was like, "Yeah, basically I want 200,000 a door." He's like, he wants like, I don't know, 3.2 million total or something like that.
yeah,
And it's just too, they're not all worth that. Like some might be worth that, but they're not all worth that. But then he also mentioned his tax burden. And so, but I don't, he doesn't want to do seller financing either because he's like 65 and just wants out, like out.
yeah,
But yeah, I think you should ask him. It doesn't hurt to ask and be like, "Hey, I'm super interested in this. Yeah,"
yeah,
and just see what he says.
yeah,
That's really exciting. That would be like the dream if you could
yeah. If I,
have those all in the same area
yeah,
and duplexes at that.
yeah. Um, Yeah, and if I could get him to seller finance at a cheaper rate, then the banks would, or even a portion of it would be awesome. So,
Which would be fine maybe if you're, skipping all the realtor fees and stuff like that.
yeah, skipping all the realtor fees and then, um, yeah, um, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so I'm gonna reach out to him this week and just see what what his thoughts are. And yeah, because they have changed so many times. So I think like they have sold a few of them, a few more of them, but they were doing each individually, and then they kept dropping the prices, and then eventually they took them all off the market and put it all together on Zillow as like a bulk deal where like they're selling all these duplexes for certain millions of dollars. And even that, when I divided it out how much they were charging for each duplex, I was like, you guys are ridiculous. The reason you're not selling these is because the price you're asking is not whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Because like duplexes are not worth as much as single family homes on the market.
mhm.
They're not.
Yeah,
To us, we're like, sweet,
yeah,
but every investor should know that that's another reason that they're desirable to us,
yeah,
is that they're not typically as much. And so I was at my first brokerage meeting last week, and it's kind of nice because we're like all in a room and we're like, okay, what are people's buyers looking for? And does anyone know of something that might be coming on the market soon? Because maybe we can just match them before it ever hits the MLS.
wow,
It's awesome. So this house will most likely sell without ever going on the MLS because there was 30 agents in the room that
wow,
they had buyers looking for something very similar for under 250, and I'm selling it for 220.
yeah,
And so I'm like, because I'm not gonna like go up to 250. Like it wouldn't appraise for that much. It'd probably appraise for 220
Yeah.
at this point. Um, but anyway, so one of the realtors, she's like, "Hey, I know you're an investor. I have a duplex that might be coming up, but I might tell you about it. We'll see." And I think it's because the seller just wants to list it for like so high because I saw it come on the market yesterday or 2 days ago, and it is not in good shape at all.
Yeah.
At all. It's like over 100 years old, and it just has not been updated in probably a very long time.
Yeah.
Um, Dirty, ugly. I don't know. This is just the seller's fault because he probably didn't want to do anything and wanted to list it for 300,000. In southern Minnesota, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like the beautiful house Sean is buying is 300, and it's beautiful. Like this duplex is not, and I'm like a single family like is just worth more. And so it's a duplex that's not even in good shape. Like, so yeah, she didn't even end up like telling me about it because I mean, she just knew it was too much.
Yeah.
And the seller wouldn't budge because she was talking about a seller that wouldn't budge on something. So that was it. But but yeah, that's one of the beauties of a duplex. And so if they're trying to list it for way too high, you just have to like kind of stick to your guns on that, I think, and be like, I know that this isn't like, because you know it probably won't sell it that much anyway, so it's eventually going to drop.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that will come for anyone listening that's like, how do you know this stuff? Just studying the market and just looking. Like you'll just learn. You'll see what sits for a long time and start to figure out a great strategy or like great exercise I do is like, I wonder why this one is sitting. And then I look at everything and I'm like, oh, okay, it's been on for this many days. Or, oh, okay, like, and then it's a duplex and so it's listed too high for that. Or like, I don't know. It's just kind of fun to like figure out
Yeah.
because you can almost always point to exactly why it's not
Yeah.
selling.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, well, that's all exciting though. I'm glad you have tenants in both sides,
Yeah.
which actually kind of leads into our question that we got. It was about, well, I don't have to read it word for word.
It's about late.
So someone asked how we handle late rent payments. And they said that that is one of the biggest things that deters them from getting into rentals is just like the headache of like late rent payments and stuff. So they said, how do you guys handle that? Do you want to go first?
I can go first. So my tenant pays late every month, and it is not ideal, but I get the late fees, which is beneficial. And I would prefer him pay on time and, like him be on top of his thing and not have to pay extra fees. But he is responsive and he does pay every single time before the next rent payment is due. And yeah, I just try and get a date that he says that he's going to pay on, and I follow up on that date. And yeah, it is kind of a headache, but like, I don't know. It's like running a business where you have like receivables that you have to chase after. Like every business has their headaches, and like this is probably just like one of the little ones that we have. And honestly, like I don't think for me it's not that big of a deal. It's like because also when I reach out about rent payments, I'll also ask about other things that are happening or ask for updates with the house or if there was something that needed fixed, like how, like things like that. I think it's just like a good check-in anyway. But yeah, so just following up and keeping on top of them because I feel like the times that it's gotten a little bit long between like when rent was due and rent was paid, it's because like I didn't follow up as much or like when he said that he was gonna pay, like if he said he was gonna pay Wednesday and I was like, and then I forgot about it and didn't follow up until Saturday, then it's like, oh, I just need one more day, and it, then it kind of snowballs. But normally if you follow up
Yeah.
for me, if I followed up on the Wednesday when he said he was gonna pay, he either would pay it or pay it like a couple days later. But if I don't keep following up, then yeah.
So it's not the same day every month. It's not like you have it due on the 25th and he always pays on like the 1st.
No.
It's like
Yeah.
just different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I think now it's getting pretty consistent, but it's like 3 weeks late, which I mean, so I do like my late fee rent is due on the 25th, but they have a grace period until the first of the month, and then it's $50 if rent isn't paid on the first of the month, and then $10 every day after that. So if he's 3 weeks late, that's a significant amount of money that he's paying in late fees, and like, to me, from a financial sense, it just does not make sense to me why he wouldn't want to catch up, and so that he wouldn't have to pay 300 or however much it might be. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me, but I guess that's why, I don't know, my ex-boyfriend used to say things like, oh, well, that's why people in poverty stay in poverty, is because they don't see how like horrible of a habit that is to get into, to pay late
Yeah.
every month. Because if he's paying late, but he's paying on the 20th of the month, and then the next rent's due on 25th, like, if he's paying consistently on the 20th, like, why not try and catch up so that you can just pay on the 25th every month and then not have to pay late fees? But yeah, but I think just following up really is, and being on top of it, or I don't know, having a property manager that's on top of it. But how about you? How do you handle it?
I don't. No, just kidding. I do. I now fortunately don't have that issue, but when I did, it was a lot. I had a tenant that she was paying like 3 weeks late every month, basically, and she was a domestic abuse survivor that came to me, like, because I had it set up for an Airbnb, but word of mouth marketed to, like, if there was someone in a domestic abuse situation that just needed to leave but have dishes, couch, bed, everything, and that was keeping them from not leaving their situation, I would, like, word of mouth. I had a few domestic abuse survivors come stay. That's awesome. And so I didn't want to, like, I already knew she was like in a tight financial situation. And so, like, I didn't want to pile on. Basically, how I handled that one is our lease was for 6 months. I did a short-term lease because I didn't know her at all, but I thought that'd be enough to, like, get her on her feet. Well, her fiance died 3 weeks, her abusive fiance died 3 weeks after she moved in. So, like, it was no longer an issue, you know what I mean? Like, not to sound insensitive, it was no longer an issue that she was, like, really scared of him. Not to make this a murder podcast, but I think she did. Anyway, I don't know. I just think so. She was in charge of his medications and she still saw him once a day. Just saying.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, I don't know. But so what how I handled that one is I just said I didn't want to renew the lease because it was only 6 months. And 2 of those months she was only able to pay because transitional housing helped her. She called them for help and they paid her rent. So literally she wouldn't have probably paid it all for 2 months. But I got all my rent. That was a big headache because I wanted to get her out before winter in Minnesota because I'm like, she seems like someone who might also know the system and might just try to stay through the winter and stop paying. And so the lease was up in September and I'm like, this is perfect. So I gave her like 30, I actually gave her more than 30 days notice, like 45 days to be like extra nice, like give her a lot of time
Yeah.
that I don't want to renew September 1st.
Yeah.
And it was a big headache. She threatened to sue me like a million times for age discrimination and whatever. She never did, but yeah. And then I had that other tenant that was late a lot and I honestly just like I had a late fee in the lease for a one-time fee of $50. And I don't think I ever implemented it because I knew I wouldn't get it, but I just ended up evicting him as well. And I ended out badly. So I learned from it, out $3,000. I like having it in the lease so I can enforce it, but I try to be really understanding too. So those two aside, like, just I'm glad that they're gone. But now I have tenants that they're usually pretty good about asking me, and it's very rare. It's a couple times a year maybe that they're like, hey, this month, like, the car engine blew up and I just have a lot of expenses. Is it okay if I pay you half now and like half on the 15th instead of all my rents are due on the first, basically? And then I don't charge a late fee because I can plan for that. And I always say though, I'm like, because you let me know this far in advance, yes. So I let them know that like this isn't normal and be like I reward them for letting me know way in advance.
Yeah.
If they were to just start doing it, I would implement my $50 late fee. But I actually like yours better of $50 and then $10 a day after that.
Yeah, I feel like it just
Because then it adds
encourages.
up.
Yeah, I feel like it encourages so when me and my property manager talk about it, she's like, it's really heavy on late fees. And I'm like, well, if you just charge a late fee on the day that they're late, like what's stopping them from,
No incentivizing to
yeah,
pay.
yeah, exactly. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm already late, so I might as well just, I can pay later, I get, and I just, yeah, so,
I like that. Like I want to do that, I think.
yeah, I can send
I
you.
don't have anyone that would like that I'd really hopefully everyone's been really really great now, but like in the future if I don't really especially if I don't like know someone very well and I'm taking a risk,
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
I can send you my lease to read through how I worded it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I would love that. I'm such gosh, we're such nerds. I would love to do that.
Writing the lease was so stressful for me. Like I don't really.
What did you use? Like a
I
program or
Well, I used a combination. So I think I bought a like pre-written lease template for the state of Arkansas because the like leases, depending on where you are, have to be worded a certain way and say certain things or whatever. So I think I bought a lease template, which was like, I don't know, $10 or something. So I bought a lease template and then I used a combination of the lease template, previous leases that I had been in. Um, and I have a family friend who sent me his lease. He lives in a different state, but just to see how he does things because I think he's pretty rigid, which with the way he goes about that. And being a first time landlord, I was like, I want to be rigid because I don't want to be taken advantage of, and I'm trying to just like set the tone as like you're not gonna get away with shit. Um, so yeah, so I just used those three and wrote it through, and then put it through AI a few times just to be like, is this legal? And like AI, grain of salt, but um, like use it with a grain of salt, but it's helpful just to make sure that like not maybe not make sure but kind of help guide if there's things that like the way you word it is not legal in the state of Arkansas,
yeah.
or maybe you should add another bit about, I don't know, smoking or blah, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've always used apartments.com
Nice.
because it's free and it will like ask you. So I recommend that too for any new investors that haven't written a lease yet or want an easier way to do it. Apartments.com seems pretty thorough for my residential. And it asks what state you're in so that it gets, I mean, I guess I haven't had a lawyer look at it, but I think that, I think apartments.com has their own lawyers that are probably really good. And then for commercial spaces, I've used Rocket Lawyer, which I can't figure out how to end my membership so I get charged $40 a month. And I have tried to cancel it like multiple times, and then I still get charged. And I'm like, I can't get a hold of customer service. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to talk, I don't mean to, to call out Rocket Lawyer. But yeah, so that was kind of because apartments.com doesn't have commercial
Yeah.
leases and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
cool.
Thanks so much for listening, and come back next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.